Hi, my name is Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman & Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on issues related to the family here in Michigan. And today we're going to talk about an interesting seasonal type of family issue, so please subscribe to our channel. We talked in earlier videos regarding injuries that occur on a seasonal basis, and we gave some airtime to fireworks injuries because fireworks are become popular. Memorial Day, July 4th, Labor Day. We always seem to celebrate with fireworks, and any kind of pyrotechnic device, any incendiary device, it can be something that from which damages emanate. So the question that we're often asked is, well, I had an injury from a firework, what's it worth? You know, we live in a society where people tend to value things and they tend to put dollar amounts based on things like injuries and all that. So people often want to know, how is it determined by attorneys and ultimately by the court what the value of an injury is? What do you look at? Well, I will tell you a few things. Number one, you're always going to want to look at the medical aspect of it. So of course you want to look at medical expenses. You may have uninsured medical, there may be no insurance at all, and so there may be medical expenses associated with that claim. So that's one item of value. A person might get injured and as a result unable to work. So then we have another component which we call wage loss. Lost wages are basically going to be as a result of the accident, you were unable to work, how much were you making, how many days, weeks, hours did you miss until such time as you were able to go back, if at all. So let's assume, for example, somebody has a job working with their hands and God forbid they lose an appendage or a limb or something. They're going to have wage loss. They're not going to be able to do their work. They're going to be disabled from doing their work for a certain amount of time. So that becomes an element of damage. But I think more than the wage loss and the medical bills is the pain and suffering, the fright and indignity, the embarrassment, the shock factor of it all. Those sort of intangible things have a value too. Those are a little harder to determine. That's often up to the court and the jury to figure out what the pain and suffering is going to be worth. And for that, you're going to look at pain and suffering from the time of the injury, potentially lifelong. The pain may not go lifelong, but the suffering may be lifelong. So it's up to the court and the jury to determine what the value of that is. It's easier to make the determination if the disability was finite. In other words, let's say as a result of some injury, somebody broke a leg. So they're put in a cast, they're in the cast for 6 to 8 weeks. Afterward, the cast comes off, they go through some therapy, and now after 12 weeks or 14 weeks, they're good to go. They're playing basketball, they're doing every single thing that they ever did before. There's no scarring, there's no nothing. In that situation, so we look at how many weeks it is. So we can look at, let's say, 12, 14, 15 weeks of pain and suffering. What's it worth? You put a value on a certain amount per week, and then you can figure it out. It becomes a little bit more challenging if a person, for example, has a scar for which the person is looking at a lifetime memory of the horrible accident, because every time they look in the mirror, they see a scar. Even if they have surgery to revise the scar, the surgery itself could leave cosmetically unsatisfactory remnants. So there's no getting around it. Then that becomes a little different story, because rather than being a finite kind of thing, now you got a lifelong reminder in the way of the scar, and there could be other things. There could be lifetime pain and suffering, there could be arthritis, there could be other flare-ups, there could be other things that come up. So the point is that every single case could potentially have a different method of valuation to determine its worth. If you have any questions about your case, reach out. We'll be glad to help you out.